Our scriptures today describe a time of impending distress, a time of chaos. And this time of distress and chaos is used as a way to describing the end of the world. You know, as I reflect on our scriptures today, and as I reflect on what is going on in our world, we see a lot of chaos going on right now. I don't know about you, but it has me wondering, could we be nearing the end of the world? We very well could be. And then again, we very well may not be. We do not know when the end is coming. As we hear in our scriptures today, we do not know when the end is coming. Only God knows. If we would look over the course of the world's history, look over the course of the world's history past the time of Christ's ascension, we probably could pick out many times as well where we've seen chaos and distress in the world. Times where it could have pointed to the end, but it was not. And this could just be another one of those times. While we may not know when the end is coming, in our faith we're also called to be ready for that end. Father Emil Shuey, a priest in our community as he was nearing the end of his life, he would often say that I'm getting ready for my finals. And regardless of what stage of life we are in, I think we're called to be like Father Emil in some way. We're called to get ready for our finals. Those who are students know when their final exams are coming. But we do not know when this final will come. In our getting ready, oftentimes I think we are in control. We think we can put an end to the chaos and the distress in our world. And yes, it's both no and yes. That we can control the distress and chaos that is going on in the world. If we're looking to control all the distress, all the chaos that is going on in the world right now, the answer is no, that we cannot. Individually, we're incapable of controlling all the chaos and distress in the world. We cannot do it by ourselves. As a matter of fact, most of the world's distress and chaos, unfortunately, we have little or no control over. God is the only one that has control over the chaos and the distress that is going on in our world. Unfortunately, sometimes, myself included, we like to play God and think that we can control all the distress and chaos going on in our world. And when we do, we can get overwhelmed and discouraged with what is all going on. From time to time, we need to be reminded that God is in control. We may not have control of all the chaos and distress that goes on in the world, but we do have control to manage a small portion of the world's distress and chaos. The small portion would seem on the surface to be so little, to seem to not make any difference. But it's in the little that we do sometimes that it makes a world of difference. The Lord calls for us to manage a small portion of the distress and chaos in our world. What is it are we called to manage? We have control, or we can manage the distress and chaos that goes on in our own lives. We can take those times in our lives to take a break, make time for exercise, make time for proper sleep when we're all distressed and discombobulated. We do things to help our overall health. It's in doing this that we manage chaos and distress. We make time for prayer, seeking the Lord's help. We also can manage distress and chaos within our families, within our neighborhoods, within our places of work, and those everyday things that we do. Sometimes the way we do it is in things that we do. We split up work, share food with someone who's going through a hard time, and we pray together. Sometimes it's in the words that we speak to each other that can bring the distress and the chaos to a calm. And at other times, it's in our not saying anything at all, but just simply being present to each other and to truly listen to someone who's going through a time of chaos and distress. A sister friend of mine tells a story of a time when her nephew was killed in an accident. And she went to spend time with her sister, the sister that just lost her son. And sister was not sure what to say to her sister. She did not say anything at all. She just simply was present, allowed her sister to cry, allowed her sister to speak those words of lament. A month or so after the accident, the sister of my friend's sister just thanked her for being there. No words that you would have said that day would have made any difference. But you just being there to listen made a world of difference. Sometimes in what we do, might seem so simple and so ordinary, but seem to make little, if any, difference. And yet, it's in those small and ordinary ways, sometimes, that we just help to manage chaos and distress. It's in doing this that we begin to put the world back together. In our day-to-day lives, we're called to manage the distress and the chaos in our lives and around in very small and ordinary ways. But we know that our God is the one that has the ultimate control. Our God can put an end to all distress and chaos. It's in our prayer. We place all our chaos and distress in the hands of our God with trust that our God will take care of us. As we receive the body and blood of Christ today, may we receive it in trust that our God is going to take care of us in all of its mess.